he was definitely pushing the boundaries of the Constitution. He tried to get rid of what was it? The
birthright citizenship.
Yeah, he tried to get rid of that. He's definitely
he didn't try. He is actively doing so now, and it's going to court.
But the point and the point of
Supreme Court.
Except birthright citizenship is falsely interpreted and does not exist.
He is pushing the limits of the Constitution every single day.
In what way?
I mean, with that alone.
But the Constitution says,
and also by defying a judge's order, whether you don't agree or not, like you should have halted that plane and put the person down and then gone through the
Supreme Court sided with him on that regard.
And the appeal.
The Supreme Court sided with him.
They allowed him to be deported.
The Supreme Court said no one can direct the executive branch to engage in foreign policy. Mm-hmm. And so the issue was should Abrego Garcia be returnable? They should facilitate his return. And the argument from the conservatives is, or from Trump, that if he were to try to come back to the U.S., Trump must facilitate that return. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we have nothing to do with it.
But then there's just like these random guys, like these German tourists that didn't have a booking on, in Hawaii, and they are suddenly getting deported. I just think there's a feeling like, and then you're seeing students on the street just being like muzzled basically and deported because of their political activity on universities. And that's a little scary. I'm sorry.
Why though?
I mean, it is because, okay, first of all, you're a free speech guy. You were out there, Occupy Wall Street. What if you were like misidentified and deported and you were an American the entire time? And
have any Americans been deported?
It could happen.
Sure, and if it does, it'll be a problem. But for the time being, all the enforcement's been under the law.
But even if you're not an American
and
don't you think that like part of the rights of being in this country are free speech?
Not if you're illegal.
I think it's scary that non-Americans are in our country calling for violence on campuses, and the campuses aren't doing anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's on the universities for sure. They should be dealing with that.
So in the case of Mahmoud Khalil, this is a guy who was organizing whether it was intentional or otherwise, violent protests where employees were attacked and threatened, buildings were taken over, Jewish students were attacked on campus. And even people presumed to be Jewish weren't even Jewish.
Did he direct people to attack Jewish people?
Doesn't matter. He organized the event. So if you organize a parade, if you organize a dance party, but then your dance party robs a bank, you're getting in trouble for it.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe you're not going to be charged with robbing the bank. They're going to say, like, whatever you were involved with.
You're kind of a conspirator.
They're going to RICO you, and you're going to jail.
I think it's rich how the Democrats have just been speed running through these different causes. First, it was Mahmoud Khalil, and then they means tested it quickly and realized, oh wait, this guy isn't good for us. Then they moved on to this most recent gang member that they said wasn't. And have you seen his tattoos on his knuckles where they're trying to say like, oh, he is not. This isn't supposed to be a simple form.
I mean,
no. This is standard operating procedure.
It always happens on both sides of the aisles. They pick their like political person that they get behind, and if it's like it's either like Laken Riley, now it's Mahmoud Khalil.
Laken Riley was murdered.
No, I know, but this is cynical political shit that they do. It's on both sides.
I have a problem with the both sides argument.
But what do you mean? Like, why is it cynical?
It's cynical because this is what they're doing. Like they are taking one person's example and they're blowing it up.
But he's a legit criminal, and we have 20 million or so illegal immigrants.
Wait. I'm going to agree with you 100%. Agreed. The conservatives prop up a young woman who was murdered by an illegal immigrant criminal gang member, and the Democrats prop up the criminal illegal immigrant gang member. I know which side I'm on.
Listen.
Cynical or otherwise, you're right. The Republicans are like, this poor woman was murdered by these evil, criminal gang members. And the Democrats are like, please don't hurt our criminal illegal gang members.
I can't really argue on this topic, to be completely fair with the topics. I haven't.
Okay, so
I'm not going to argue in favor of these people because I don't even know their full history.
Take the individual specific people out of it, right? You look at look at the people that the Democrats champion and what tends to happen after all of the information comes out.
Yeah.
Right? The guy that they were championing that ended up getting what's the town? Kenosha burnt down. The man was trying to kidnap kids. Mm-hmm. He had a knife. The police shot him. And then Kamala Harris goes and takes
a woman.
Yeah, I mean, like he's trying to kidnap kids. He assaulted him. He had a cop. It was a quote unquote good shoot. And Kamala Harris goes and takes pictures with him. Right.
And NFL players put his name on their helmet.
Yeah, George Floyd had committed a crime. Right, and he died in police custody.
That was like a nothing.
He was chewing a speedball behind the wheel of a vehicle.
Yes.
And when the police removed him, they brought him to the vehicle to be arrested. You could watch all the body camera footage. It's all in the video. And he fought them.
Yeah.
And he said, "Put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. Put me on the ground." So they pulled him out of the vehicle and put him on the ground.
Did they have to kill him on the ground?
So let me finish. A few minutes later, Derek Chauvin shows up having no idea what's going on and performed what the Minnesota police trained him to do, because even the defense showed this in the continuum of force argument in the criminal trial for Chauvin. He was told to do that. So he shows up. There's a guy on the ground. He has no idea what's happening. They say, do the restraint. He says, okay. They put so you know how it's bunk? The cop who is simply standing in front of people with his hands up, not involved in the Chauvin incident at all, just off to the side, they put him in prison for life. Why?
And then the
They
Ahmed
didn't care what was true. They just wanted to lock them all up.
and the Ahmed Arbery case, that guy, Ahmed Arbery, he committed burglary. The guys that shot him, they were going to. It was a bad law, an old law that they were.
What do you
following.
guys want me to say? The Democrats pick bad, cynical political characters to
That's
back?
Republicans.
That's the
But
point.
they
the
pick
right,
the better
but the
ones.
right is
That's the point that
trying
we're
to
making.
maintain, sustain safety and order right now, and the left promotes
The question
violence and
is,
chaos.
like, when do they overstep the boundaries?
Well, right now, going back to what Alad was saying with speed running these different people is like what we were talking about before the show. The Democrats are desperate
Disarray.
to
And
find.
let me add this.
And things are just happening so fast and furiously, and that's why I think there's a lot of concern.
So
And the way it's happening, it's like kind of.
But we voted for mass
when
deportations. At least
indeed,
I did.
When we were getting the show ready, I pointed out that we often
Without due
for the
process,
past
though.
due
That's not
process.
true.
We just talked about
They're
with
gonna
the
get their due
illegals.
process. I got the court document right here for Abrego Garcia that says he admitted to removability. So the question is, was he warranted a USCIS interview before final deportation? The answer is yes, but their argument is, at first we made an error in doing so without checking for this. However, under the Alien Enemies Act, we are allowed to get rid of him regardless. So, but the point I was going to make a moment ago,
But isn't that
when we're setting
going
up
to be-
the show, I was pointing out that we often try to find a prominent individual that represents a core of the story or the parties involved. There are no Democrats. This is what it took us. We were it was 7:52. We finally got the thumbnail up because I was like, I guess Trump. I guess Trump's the only political character who's involved in the news. There's Van Hollen, but he's backing away. There's no Schumer anymore. There's no AOC anymore. There's no Kamala. There's no Biden. There is no central Democrat Party member.
And arguably those members that you saw in that picture, even though I'm not fully aware of the story, like they are more from the progressive wing. They are not really from the party.
There's no leadership.
They don't want to back these. They don't want to get involved in this fight because, like you said, they don't know the
Tara,
full
but
story.
even I think Cory Booker was even virtue signaling, at least saying that like these deportations were wrong, and specifically on the gang members too. I think I'm not a usual believer of Trump's 5D chess, but it almost feels like he is baiting Democrats into defending these
not 5D
otherwise
chess.
these
It's
otherwise.
checkers.
I mean,
Yeah.
because and then it always comes out like, oh, they defended this guy. They said there was no way he was a gangster.
Let me ask you a
His
question.
wife covered up his knuckles in all of these pictures because it was like obvious that he had MS-13 written on his knuckles, and the Democrats couldn't do their research to find that out like before deciding to defend him.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that Van Hollen and these other 4 Democrats that are going down to El Salvador are doing so with the intent to influence the foreign government of El Salvador into taking action on their behalf?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean,
You
no,
think?
because I think the president of El Salvador is so,
So what do you think the Democrats want if they're not trying to?
They're trying to draw attention to it. But here's the thing.
So
like
are
you
they?
said,
Have they stated anything about wanting the government to take action?
yeah, of course they have.
So wait. So the Democrats have publicly stated they want El
I
Salvador.
mean, I haven't read it. Like, you're asking me to talk about a story I really don't know that much about. I'm just speaking in generalizations. But I
So
know.
let's just hammer
Okay.
out the quick details. This is not a gotcha. It's literally the Democrats. There's now 5. Have they made requests of the El Salvador government to do something?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I don't know. I
I'm
haven't
not sure.
read the
I just think they're
story.
going down for a photo shoot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I
AOC
was
did.
thinking.
What was the
I think they're trying to
express
draw
stated purpose?
to draw attention to it.
They've actually said what their intention was.
I don't know, but I'm just
All
saying
right.
from like a
Does anybody want to get it?
political-
Because I know everybody who's listening right now in the audience knows exactly what the Democrats said about this trip.
I think Van Hollen said that he wanted to have him back. The Democrats wanted him to come back
All
to the
of them
country.
said that.
Yeah, that's what they wanted.
All
Okay.
of them said that their purpose to go down was to get him back.
Yep.
To get the foreign government to take an action pertaining to U.S. foreign policy, which is a violation,
then all of the
a violation of the Logan Act,
Yeah.
which specifically states
I'm gonna-
any U.S. citizen, wherever he may be, who without the authority of the U.S. directly or indirectly commences or carries on correspondence or intercourse with any foreign government or any officer or any agent thereof with the intent to influence the measures or conduct of any foreign government or of any officer or agent thereof in relation to any disputes or controversies with the U.S., or to defeat the measures of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years.
Can I just
Donald Trump explicitly set forth a deal with El Salvador's government pertaining to U.S. foreign policy under the Alien Enemies Act. That is the direction and purview of the executive branch, their entitlement, their right under the Constitution. These members of Congress are in direct and overt violation of the Logan Act. I believe that we need to see some action by the DOJ.
Yeah.
They're trying to do a reverse Elian Gonzalez.
Lock them up.
Yeah.
Lock them up.
Okay, here's the thing. So these 4 Democrats of members of Congress, some of them young, freshman-ish, progressives, they go down there and they stage their political, photo op, whatever you want to call it. The rest of the party, you have someone like Gavin Newsom saying this is a distraction, and they kind of know they're being baited. Trump sets the story up every morning. He did this for the press. When I covered him for the first 4 years of his administration, he sent out a tweet and he would literally say to his staff, watch the libs. I'm going to own the libs today. Overreact. So they're
Agreed.
starting to think to themselves, maybe we are missing the boat by overreacting. This is a distraction. We cannot jump onto every single thing that he gives to them.
They are
I
getting
think you're
eaten alive on the
mischaracterizing
issue.
this because do you think Cory Booker is one of these far left progressives?
Yes.
I think he's
Kind of, yeah. He's
no. As far as Democrats go,
Yeah.
Yes.
I think as far as Democrats go, Cory Booker's a
Did
moderate.
you hear he came out recently?
As
Like
I mean,
the closet?
everybody thought he was gay, but
Rosario was set up. Like that was a beard.
well, everybody thought Cory Booker was gay, but apparently he was at an event where he was asked by some gay people, like a trans person, and he said something about we, the LGBT community.
Oh yeah.
It was something like that, and then it was glossed over. Like nobody really paid attention that he was saying that he was LGBTQ.
Right. Just like Barack Obama.
I think.
Are you sure about that one? Because I remember seeing that clip online. I don't think that he was coming out.
My point is, he said we in the LGBT community. I'm paraphrasing.
Ally. Oh, there's a letter in there. A for allies. So he
No.
may have been.
There's no A in ally for
I think
LGBTQ.
there is LGBTQ. It's like A. There's
I
some
think A is
ally.
asexual.
Asexual.
You guys are killing
Are you
me.
for real? Wait.
There's definitely an ally.
No, there is not.
Yes.
No,
They
there's
added
not.
on the way
you're-
into
There's
into
something
the
in
show
there.
today.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.